All right, Larry Krueger here from Levi Stadium on the Pig and a Pickle Krug Show with a little Thursday 49er recap. Now, I think a lot of the assumption was that Sam Darnold would start on Sunday with Brock Purdy, dinged up with the concussion, going through the concussion protocol. But Purdy did practice today, and I just talked to him briefly in the locker room. He's hoping to play on Sunday. I mean, they're going through the steps. There's multiple steps still to come, but he's practicing, preparing like he's going to play on Sunday, and seeing if he can be there on Sunday for the Bengals. So we won't really get a determination on who's going to start at quarterback probably until tomorrow. I talked to Sam Darnold a couple minutes ago in the locker room, and usually the starting quarterback will hit the podium and talk to the media at the podium. And he said that, it's possible that he'll be talking to us tomorrow on the podium, getting ready for Sunday. So he's obviously gearing up to try to play. Brock's trying to get back and play on Sunday. So the quarterback for, this week's game against the Bengals is very much up in the air. Now, Trent Williams also practiced today. And he's trying to gear up to play as well. Trent, coming off of a low ankle sprain, did not play last week against the Vikings. So he practiced today, and hopefully he'll be ready to go. The one thing about the Bengals, and we was talking to Chris Forster, is that the Bengals have two defensive ends in Sam Hubbard and Trey Hendrickson who can really get off the football. These guys, their get-offs are really, really fast. So a guy like Trent, who's obviously the premier left tackle in the game, you, in an ideal world, you like him out there just simply because these guys put a ton of pressure on opposing offensive lines and how they get off the ball. They get off the ball and they come full charge at the quarterback in two steps. So talking to Chris Forster, he says that the Bengal line, there's a lot of talent on this line, that they're well coached, that it's a good concept that they have, and that they do play some games, and a lot of times their games that they play up front are very well coordinated. So this is going to be a monumental task for whoever's playing offensive line for the 49ers, just to block this line. You got DJ Reader in the middle. Reader is a behemoth of an interior player, very, very strong. And then you've got Hendrickson, and Hendrickson is just a great motor, incredible get off. I mean, and a guy that has moves, a number of moves. Hubbard as well, the former Buckeye, is more of a speed rusher. He's going to try to dip that shoulder and get the edge. I don't think he's got quite the array of moves that Hendrickson has, but he's still dangerous rusher who, if you get left in your stance, he's going to dip that shoulder and flatten to the quarterback, and it's going to be a bad day. So Niners are going to be challenged at offensive tackle. I did an extended interview today in the locker room with Jalen Moore. Really like Jalen Moore, and Chris Forster said that that Jalen played really, really well. That he stood up. And I asked Jalen, I said, where do you feel more comfortable, right tackle or left tackle? Because he's played both. And he says, I feel more comfortable at left tackle, which is obviously where he's playing right now with Trent Williams out. He said he's played both. He's really played all four spots outside of center. He's played guard and he's played tackle. But he says he feels much better at left tackle. He said he's played more left tackle in high school, played more left tackle in college, and just he's had more reps at left tackle. So, that's good news, because the Niners are utilizing him as a left tackle, and they could, if he's got to go, he feels real comfortable, and that that was kind of the unknown. I think there's a lot of people that look at that 49er offensive line. There's an awful lot of suggestions that, hey man, that with the trade deadline coming up after the Bengal game, that John Lynch may look to the offensive line to upgrade. And while the Niner offensive line doesn't look spectacular, I don't think there's going to be anybody that they're going to be able to get in a trade that's going to be better than what they've got. I mean, right now they've got Trent Williams at left tackle. Obviously he's the premier guy. Then you got Colton McKivitz at right tackle, and he's more than serviceable and really is graded out pretty highly in a number of these games. And now you got Jalen Moore, who stepped in on a very fast surface in Minnesota and played really a solid game The Niners lost the game, but it really had nothing to do with Jalen Moore and his performance. And then you've got, inside, you got Burford and Banks. Those guys are plug and play guards probably for the next decade. And, Burford needs to get better. I mean, they both need to get better, but Burford's a little bit more raw than Banks and probably doesn't grade out quite as highly. But he's their future at right guard. I mean, he's not going anywhere. And then you've got Jake Brendel at center, but you also have Big John Feliciano. Feliciano has started a bunch of games in the NFL, so it's not like they're not fortified with backups. Feliciano might be the best backup center the team's had in years. And the way Jalen Moore played at left tackle last week gives you confidence that he can do the job. So, I do expect John Lynch to make some moves, make maybe a move or two before the trade deadline. But I think it's probably going to be on the defensive side of the ball. I could see them going for a tight end if like a Zach Ertz was available. I could see them going for a speed receiver potentially if Danny Gray is not going to make his way back. But if you ask me to guess, I would guess that it's probably a rusher or a corner or both that Lynch will really look to acquire before the deadline if he can. The name Montez Sweat comes up a lot because the Commanders have Sweat and Chase Young, and there's a talk that they may move one of those guys. You've heard Jalen Johnson and Patrick Surtain's name mentioned as far as available corners. I'm not sure if either of those guys is really available. Now, there was a report this morning that said that Surtain now is available, but I mean, that's going to take your first-round draft choice for sure if you're the 49ers, and then some. Do the Niners want to hold that chess piece, that first-round pick, and potentially trade up for an offensive tackle? It's a pretty good offensive tackle draft. Or are they willing to move it to Denver for a guy like Surtain? It's a judgment call, but I guarantee you if you want Patrick Surtain, nothing short of your first-round pick is going to get it done. And you may have to give a first-round pick if you're moving for Jalen Johnson from Chicago as well. But Dante Jackson and Jeremy Chin are two defenders in Carolina that Steve Wilks had a year ago that I think would really do well. I mean, Jackson is a veteran corner who absolutely could plug in and give this team quality depth. Chin is a guy who is a nickelback / safety / backer. He's a versatile player, and he might be a guy that, if you're looking forward to the matchup with Philadelphia in the playoffs, Dallas Goedert, he's got a lot of speed at receiver. If you get to the Super Bowl and there's Kelsey sitting there, he's got a lot of speed at tight end there. So, and I called Goddard a receiver. He's a tight end as well. So maybe a guy like Jeremy Chin might be the perfect solution to go up against those two guys. And that could be the difference between winning and losing the Super Bowl. So don't forget Jeremy Chin. He's out right now with a quad injury, but he's working his way back. Talk is he'll be back in 3 or 4 weeks. Maybe the Niners, pick up a Dante Jackson and a Jeremy Chin. Montez Sweat would be a major impact get, I think, on the defensive line if you could get him out of Washington. But that's really, the look ahead to the Bengals coming up on Sunday. And, other than that, not a lot to report on at practice today. As I said, Purdy's making his way back, and that's really the big story around here today is that Purdy practiced and is trying to get ready to play on Sunday. And Kyle, yesterday told us that, there was enough time for Purdy to go through all the steps of the protocol and be back before the game on Sunday. No player has been put in that protocol this year and then played the next Sunday. They changed the protocol from last year to this year, so there's more steps involved now, and it's a little bit more involved. Will Purdy be the exception to that rule? We're going to find out. But he practiced today, getting ready for Sunday. Darnold practiced today. They're both, trying to gear up to play against this Bengals team. And this is not going to be an easy task. Why? Because the Bengals roll in. They will have 13 days to prepare. They're coming off their bye week. 49ers played Monday. It's a short week. The Niners I could see this. I still think the 49ers have a great chance to win this game because I think the 49ers can run the ball on the Bengals, and I think they can stop the Bengals' run. And that's the primary part of football right there. Run the ball, stop the run. I think the 49ers are going to have success on Sunday because they can do both of those things better than the Bengals. I think they can stop the Bengals' run game, and I think they can run the ball on the Bengals defense. So I like the Niners to win this game on Sunday, but interesting. It's going to be interesting because we don't, even though it's Thursday, we don't know who's going to be at quarterback on Sunday at Levi's against Cincinnati. All right, thanks to Pig and a Pickle for being the title sponsor of the Krug Show. Check them out. They're in Emeryville and Corte Madera. They're open 7 days a week from 11 a.m. till 8 p.m. or until they run out. Pig and a Pickle, the best barbecue in all of Northern California. Go say hi to Damon. Go say hi to Mary. Get some brisket. It's all good, though. The pulled pork is amazing. The barbecue chicken's amazing. If you go check them out in Corte Madera, they cook their potato chips in beef fat, and they're the best potato chip I've ever had, bar none. Nothing's even close. So definitely check out the potato chips if you're in Marin County. They don't have them in Emeryville, so you got to cross the water and get out to Corte Madera and check it out there. But Pig and a Pickle. Go say hi to Damon. Go say hi to Mary. Tell them that Krug sent you. And thanks to all you guys for supporting the Krug Show on YouTube.